Hi, my name is Peter Casey, and this is my speech on the environmental impact of nanopollution for language and communications, LUT1. Since the Industrial Revolution, mankind has made leaps and bounds with advancements in technology. From the first assembly line to the creation of nanotechnology, never before in recorded history have advancements in technology reshaped the world so rapidly. With new technology, however, come new concerns and issues that arise. Although many new technologies have had great positive impacts on the advancements of society, a toll has been taken on the well-being of our planet due to the effects of pollutants created by these advancements. My research has been focused on the effects of nanotechnology. If we do not curb the effects of nanopollution, we then risk the well-being of ourselves and the survival of our planet because these pollutants are rapidly increasing in numbers, and to date their effects still remain unknown. The use of nanotechnology and pollutants created by it have become an ever-growing concern. Its effects are named nanopollution. According to Dan Ratner, author of It's a Small World After All, nanotechnology deals with devices that are 1/1000th the width of a human hair. In November 2003, Congress passed the Nanotechnology Development and Research Act, which gave approximately $3.7 billion for the government to use on federal programs dealing with nanotechnology. Since its inception, nanotechnology has revolutionized technologies used. In 2003, despite having an economy on the brink of a recession, the nanotechnology market brought in approximately $600 million and had a 10% growth rate. Nanotechnology continues to grow, and its uses are becoming more complex as more ways to put it to use become available. One way this technology is being put to good use is by helping to save gasoline by scanning the information from oil and oil refineries. Nanotechnology is used in security screening measures, it's used in pregnancy tests, chemotherapy, night vision eyewear used by the military, and so on. According to the authors of Environmental Health Perspective, nanopollution is a generic name for all waste generated by nanodevices or during the nanomaterials manufacturing process. Nanoparticles can be suspended in air and can penetrate plant and animal cells. To date, there is no data to show the full effects of this because the technology is so new. Most human-made nanoparticles do not appear in nature. Therefore, living materials can't even process out naturally these particles. Minkle Jr., author of The Truth About Nanopollution, states that studies suggest that nanoparticles could diffuse throughout the body if inhaled, swallowed, or even absorbed through the skin. The physical effects of nanopollution may be felt on humans as well as plants and animals. Nanotechnology uses the metals cobalt and chromium. I actually have an academic article here showing the effects of chromium on the body. Primarily, it causes lung cancer when exposed to it. Another major area of concern is the amount of nanoparticles which are suspended in the water cycle. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, teams of scientists have set up testing environments on the effects of water that was exposed to nanoparticles using a control of water that wasn't exposed. The fish, actually, that were in the water exposed to nanopollution had a much higher toxicity level. We're already beginning to see the effects of nanopollution by examining people with respiratory problems. Andrew Maynard is one of the leading advocates in nanotechnology research in regards to its effects on the health of the public. Maynard claims the good news is that international concern over how to ensure safe nanotech workplaces has resulted in some progress. The bad news is that critical questions about worker safety and about broader environmental, human health, and safety issues still remain unanswered. Maynard's work is necessary to ensure that the scientific community continues to monitor nanopollution and its effects. The only way to be able to truly measure the effects of nanoparticles would be to examine the lifespan of these particles. This means that it would be necessary to examine them from their fabrication to when they're being used, to after they are done completely being used, and when they need to either be destroyed or wait till they decay. Fortunately, this process can take an entire human lifetime to fully understand, and it may not be our generation, but the one after us that will have to fully understand the effects on the environment of nanopollution. Another major area of concern is the deliberate misuse of it. There has already been a growing number of concerns regarding the use of nanotechnology to track people. The idea that a nano-tracking particle could be suspended in the air and placed into the body on a cellular level has generated a deep level of concern. As defined by Antoinette M. Gotti and Stefano Manatari, authors of Nanopollution, The Invisible Fog of Future Wars, it has already been proven that if inhaled, 100 nanometric particles can actually penetrate the lung barrier within 60 seconds and then show up in the liver and other internal organs within 1 hour. This leads to a concern that nanotechnology may be used to create forms of chemical agents. The use of this in warfare would be quick and undetectable by the targeted party. So how do we go about securing the use and effects of nanopollution? There is a fierce need for regulation over nanotechnology. The use of nanotechnology represents multi-billion-dollar industries. The EPA and FDA have already started dealing with potential risks associated with nanoparticles. So far, though, no nanotechnology is either required to have any special, it's actually not required to have any special identification that would indicate a risk from exposure. By limiting the labeling, these regulatory agencies may only be making the effects more severe for those who come in close contact with these pollutants. There need to be more strict regulations in place on nanotechnologies to protect against any unknown and harmful side effects that may be caused by exposure. According to an article titled Implications of Nanotechnology, many social scientists and organizations in civil society suggest that technology assessment and governance should also involve public participation. People have a right to be concerned about when a mainstream product is being developed that has the potential to cause a breach in individual privacy or that may cause physical harm. In conclusion, never before have we as a species depended and interacted with so much technology as we do today. A majority of these technology, from high-definition televisions to medical equipment, utilize nanotechnology. If we do not curb the effects of nanopollution, we then risk the well-being of ourselves and the survival of our planet because these pollutants are rapidly increasing in numbers and to date their effects still remain unknown. Any questions? Any questions?
Has there been any new legislation passed to help regulate these nanoparticles?
Has there been any new legislation passed? To date, there has not been any new legislation passed. The hope is, though, that with the climate bill in the House that's currently in the House of Representatives, we hope to have some verbiage in there that would help curb the effects of nanopollution.
Where are most nanopollutants found?
Actually, according to Andrew Now, who's the chief of nanomedicine at a university in Los Angeles, they've found what they call ultrafine particles or nanoparticles are most heavily concentrated along major highways or freeways. In fact, people that are in that area frequently have a higher risk of heart attack or stroke, and that's simply because the smaller, the finer the particle, the higher toxicity level within that particle. Once it's in your lung, it's in your bloodstream, and as I stated before, only takes about an hour to get through your liver and other major organs at that point. So, thank you, and that was my speech on nanopollution and its effects. Thank you.